can see if this works. Well, just a few words at the beginning to say who we are. We are the Emilia-Romagna region. We are an agency for innovation and technology transfer. And we are here in Italy, our region. So always talking about region is not so clear to everybody where are the region of different countries. So we are almost in the north of Italy. And ASTER is a consortium among the university and research center in our region and the regional government, and is from more than 30 years that we promote innovation and technology transfer and collaboration among university and academia and industries. Well, okay. So, as I was telling, since 1985, the ASTER is working on technology transfer and innovation policy, trying to implement the policy of the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy. And we work strictly also with industrial association to work on projects and cooperative projects on innovation. The policies on innovation were starting on the 2001, and there was the starting point. There was quite an interesting background to consider the possibility to grow up an innovation ecosystem. So we have a qualified and diffuse public research system with 6 universities in different locations and 10 national research centers and over 10,000 researchers employed. This was not really well organized research system in terms of technology transfer, but we have the experience in this region of collaboration and spontaneous collaboration between academia and research labs and small industries. On the other hand, we have a dynamic industrial system with committed research on research and innovation, and with important manufacturing companies, especially highly specialized on specific sectors. In our region, the main sectors are mechanics, automotive, and automation, and agri-food, and building and construction. These are the main sector of manufacturing, but we have also a quite interesting situation for the life sciences, because we have some of the most important Italian companies that invest in R&D and a large district for the biomedical device. And this industrial system was open to cooperation with the university and public research. So in 2001 was also changing something at a national level. It's in our region started to think about some policy that could improve the capacity of the public research system to adopt a market approach and to improve the capacity of companies and industries, mainly the small and medium enterprises, to use the knowledge produced inside the academia. And in that period, and that was the aim was to work on this gap that is called the Death Valley, if we talk about the technology transfer process, and and to make work together these two systems. The regional policy for research and innovation was to build a network of competencies and centers and try to organize the offer of knowledge and innovation coming from the public systems and improve the capacity for industrial system, fostering the collaboration and the employment of new researchers and the cooperation with the research centers. So in that period, in the 2001, there was also a constitutional reform at national level that gave the opportunity to the region government to decide about innovation and research. And that gave the starting point for the Emilia-Romagna region to sign a memorandum of understanding that that was a declaration of to try to organize these two systems and try to make them, and not force, but try to create the leverage to cooperate together and create a regional system for research and innovation, especially industrial research. So in 2002, there was the adoption of the Regional Law number 7. That is the first regional law at a national level that was with the subject of applied research and innovation. So the regional law was exactly trying to put some policies and rules to bridge these two systems. In 2003, there was the adoption of the program that was for implementation of the regional law. And we have a first phase of startup of industrial labs. And what happens? The implementation was to promote inside the academia a new way of thinking the research that was an applied research, and to try to force some dynamics that could be appreciated, and organizations that could be appreciated by the industrial system to cooperate with the academia. And there was a phase of funding for the academia to create this kind of laboratories. In 2008, in the second period of fundings, these labs were consolidated, and they gave an identity. And there was the launch of the High Technology Network. So we have the startup of 35 industrial labs, and we have a procedure, accreditation procedure that was some rules defined by the regional government together with the ASTER and a certification body that was defining why and how to be labs that can be part of the high technology network. So that was meaning that the lab had a unique administrative organization and a staff that could be open to the request of industry, and also the facility were open to the industries. And there was also the launch of Technopole program. That was another phase of fundings to create infrastructure together also with the municipality in our region. And this was all financed by the structure funds in the period 2007 and 2013. That was the political leverage in our region, but that occurred in the same time that was something happening in a global scale, so that especially in the life science sector. What was going on? That was a phase in the 90s and before the 2000 that was a close innovation. Inside, the innovation was created or inside the academia or inside the single industries. But from 2000, there was always much more collaboration and external collaboration to work in a concept of open innovation and finally in innovation networks. So the quote of research and development inside the company moved from 20% of collaboration with external partners to an 80%. And this was also a leverage to make the high technology network be also a successful experience. So in the second period, from 2012 to 2014, there was an enlargement of the high technology network, and this is the situation: 82 industrial research labs and 14 innovation centers. These labs are research center, public or private, or a mixture of them, that are focused on industrial research and technology transfer, are autonomous organization, and the researchers are trained and focused on industrial research. The innovation center, they are much more coming from the industrial association, foundation, and they have the role to promote the high technology network and to promote the results of this network to the industrial system. And these labs were organized in 6 thematic platforms that were the 6 most important sector for the region. And the high technology network had the mission to foster the innovation inside the company, to promote the industrial research and to facilitate the collaboration, and also to work together to find out how to finance their project, not only with the regional funds, but also with other programs. And these platforms were organized. They have a governance, so they have a steering committee where the same number of labs was represented by the same number of industry, so to have a 50-50 representation. Talking about the life science, we have 15 laboratories involved in this field, and their main fields of application, research application, is on regenerative medicine, innovation for diagnostic and treatment, innovative medicine, smart and active living technologies, and prostheses. These are the competencies, the main competencies carried out and applied in these labs. And these labs, as I talked of the Technopole program, are located in these technopoles that are spread in our region. So 4 technopoles are physical location for some, not all, of these 15 labs. So what ASTER have done to really implement the action to bridge this and to overcome the death valley in the technology transfer process. So we created some tools that can give and improve the collaboration from the labs and between labs and industry. So we created a competence catalog. So is possible to find out with a simple, like a Google engine, to search the competencies of the labs, and is not focused and divided for each thematic group, but if you put a word, you can find all the competencies from the High Technology Network. Some technology reports that are the presentation of results with also the references of the industry that cooperate with labs. So it's like to say, yes, we are able to produce, to create this kind of results. So we have done with industries, and we can do also for other companies. We have the instrumentation catalog, that is a database with all the main important instrumentation inside the labs, because the labs are open to receive also the company and to produce an analysis or research for the company. And then we have also a database like a LinkedIn for the young researcher inside the High Technology Network, and some other tools that are documents that give some tips on how to create documents, contracts, and IPR for the labs to cooperate with the companies. So in this period, the regional government had also the input from the European Commission to create its own regional smart specialization strategy. And this was to have the money of the structural funds from 2014 to 2020. So in this period, ASTER received the input from the regional government that the main area of investment for the regional fund will be these 5 areas. 3 are the leading industrial sectors of our region, and we have other 2 sectors, and one of these is health and wellness industries. That is the field, the sector where the region could consider the highest potential of growth and competitivity for the industry. So we work together with the High Technology Network labs and with the company in our region to create a technical document to confirm on what exactly they could work together to give and to implement the regional smart specialization strategy. So the document was carried out, approved also with a public consultation, and the main topics where the companies, together with the labs, want to work on was these 4 main fields of application. So personalized medicine, active and independent living, so with all the devices and sensors in this field. Process innovation, we say we are talking about process inside the industrial, pharmaceutical and biotech industries, but also inside the healthcare system and wellness. Okay. So the policy instrument in this period was using the structural funds was some calls on the main themes, main areas of smart specialization strategy, and some these are the results where the fundings were driven for health and wellness priority. And in this period, we have also the decision to reinforce the cooperation among laboratories and industry, giving a legal entity to this kind of collaboration. And the beneficiaries of the previous project, where the labs were involved together with the industry, were asked to create an association. And this association has been established on the 30 May 2017 with 42 members, so labs and companies. And the main object of this association is to share ideas, projects, and infrastructure for the competitiveness of the specific sector of health and wellness. So now the Cluster Health is born, and I give the floor to the cluster manager to talk about the Cluster Health in our region. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecilia, for a very nice presentation. I think you have heard interesting things, how to practice this. We are employed in the reality. So maybe, Cecilia, for a moment, maybe there are some questions.
Okay, I thought that no. Yeah?
Thank you very much. Very interesting, and you mentioned for the high-tech network some tools you use, like this collection of competences, labs, services, technology reports, etc. I could imagine that's difficult to convince independent research organizations and independent companies to offer you this insight and to combine all these information. How did you overcome this independent strategies of the different organizations?
Okay, since the beginning of the innovation policy, there was a memorandum of understanding. So the university and the public research center, they signed to agree to work together in this project. And another leverage was the fundings. So you need, if you want to receive the funding, you should be an accredited laboratories. So it was open also to other independent research center, but the percentage of fundings for the high technology network labs was more than for the others. And another thing, when you are a beneficiary of a funding, you have some rules to respect. So this was another way how to force, in a certain sense, the laboratories and also the companies to...
I have a bit more detailed question. Is there also any commercial model based on these memorandum of understandings?
No, there was...
For the participating parties?
What do you mean with the commercial model?
The benefits of the research. For example, they cooperate together. They achieve some results.
Okay.
There may be question of intellectual property rights.
Yeah, okay.
There may be issues of licenses. Or
not in the memorandum of understanding. No. And it was quite...
structure above these memorandum of understanding, if there was...
No, we decided to create some tools or some guidelines how to work that were discussed also with the administrative offices inside the university. For example, a model of contract. In that case where, for example, more than one laboratory coming from the high technology network, but coming from different universities, because they were single body, but the references were connected to the University of Bologna, for example, and they have the administrative rules of their university, and so they decided to work together, the different research centers and university decided to work together with us to define a model of contract where all the parties were agree on some specific point of the contracts and giving the opportunity to the company, to the industry, not to negotiate with different offices in different universities.
So I suppose that the result of the research of this cooperation were disseminated only within the parties?
No. It's there was during the development of the project, the knowledge and the property of the intellectual property was normalized and organized between the partners. But at the end of the project, if there are with public fundings, there was a public dissemination. Technology report, as I presented before, the most of the times are the result of these research project carried out with public fundings. So you have a part of information that you can disseminate. Then usually there is also a patent that give you the opportunity also to disseminate without any problems.
And is there any idea how to continue after the public funding is over? Any sustainability ideas?
It depends. We create some initiatives or specific service in our company that can be used by the labs and the company to go further in their collaboration or to find some more fundings, for example, venture capital, private capitals.